Hello and welcome to this video. Today we're going to be talking about the habit of utilizing waiting time. I learned this habit back when I was in school, and for those of you who are first generation, maybe even second generation for sure, maybe they didn't teach us how to study, right? Like that's a skill. Learning how to study is a skill. And so I was one of those students that I would go to all the workshops, all the productivity workshops, all the study habits workshops. I would get as much help as I possibly could. And one thing that I learned from those workshops was the habit of utilizing waiting time. So what that looked like to me when I was in school was, for instance, I was getting my flashcards to memorize the information that was important at the time. And I would, when there was a moment of waiting, like for instance, I was waiting for the bus, then I will pull out those flashcards. While I was on the bus, I'd pull out those flashcards. When I'm waiting to meet up with a friend at the union to get some lunch, I'd pull out those flashcards. When I'm waiting for class to start, if I so happen to get there early that day, I pull out those flashcards. And that's something that we still all do today. Of course, at the time that was more so for passing this test, but now that's what we do, right? When we go to Starbucks, we pull out our phone, aka our flashcards. When we're waiting for a friend to show up for lunch, we pull out our phone. When we are waiting for the bus, we pull out our phone. But I think the difference is that I was studying for a test that was somehow going to give me some credibility that I knew what I was doing. And the other part is that pulling out our phone, most of the time we're being unproductive on it. And I had that choice, right? I had that choice to say, am I going to pull out my phone or am I going to pull out my flashcards? But nowadays, they're one and the same. And that's something that I want to preface, that when it comes to building this habit, there has to be a consciousness to it. There has to be a consciousness to it, because if not, we're just literally doing what we've always done, what we've continued to do. And literally why I'm creating this video for all of you is because if there's a consciousness that if I'm going to pull out my phone and pull out my flashcards instead, or I'm going to get back to some people, or I'm going to go through some of my photos, then that's going to be a lot more productive than obviously just scrolling on our phones. And so again, they're not separate anymore, but how can we still come to it consciously or unconsciously, which is what most of us do. And so those are, I gave you 3 examples of what you can do while utilizing waiting time. 1, going through your text messages and following up with people or your DMs. A second thing that you can do is go through your photos. I don't know about you, but I know if photography is not something that you practice often, which you do because you take photos, but the goal to some extent with photography, not the goal, but a practice is to take less pictures, to be so intentional about it that you take less pictures instead of a whole bunch, and then you have a whole bunch of duplicates. Think about it like when we used to have our disposable cameras, right? Or our Polaroids. Gosh, I can only imagine the people that actually like went under the covers and did that too. And third, what you can do is go through some emails. So that's literally what I'm doing right now. I'm waiting for a friend to get back to me. They're over an hour late, and I was getting ready too, so that's fine. But I was like, okay, I'm just gonna wait until they get back to me, and I'm gonna start going through some emails right now. And so just to be fully transparent with you, I do have 4 active Google profiles. Which means I have 4 active Gmails. And so one of them is for my marketing, and just wanting to continue to learn that skill and see what people are doing in the marketplace. And yeah, overall, this is my marketing email. And so because it's marketing people, they have their workflows and systems all up to par. As you can tell that you're on an email automation system. And so they just keep sending you emails so that you don't forget about them. They don't want you to. I don't want to ever be that person. I want to make sure that when you receive my email, you're excited to receive that email like it's a love letter. But these folks are a little aggressive when it comes to their email automations, and that's fine. But on the flip side, while I'm waiting for my friend, I'm going to utilize this waiting time and go through these emails that I've missed, see if there's anything that sounds interesting, or if I could just see that I was a part of a campaign, and I'm going to go ahead and unsubscribe from them. That's number 1. We want to unsubscribe. That is the key to emails. One of them. And 2 is I'm going to start throwing them in some folders, or I'm going to just start deleting them, and then making sure that if I subscribe to any other campaigns in the future, to be sure if I want to be subscribed to that campaign, or be at least diligent enough to make sure that I unsubscribe from the campaign before it fills my inbox. Okay, so I'm going to jump in here really quick. And I mean, you don't need to see all these things. I'll probably show you another time. But yeah, the skill of utilizing waiting time. Again, to remember the difference between to utilize it consciously or unconsciously. 99% of the world utilizes it unconsciously, and that's why we're at where we're at. So I want to support you and train you to be the other percentage where you're going to be conscious about you utilizing your waiting time. And I say that wholeheartedly because there's beauty in waiting. There's beauty in waiting. I'm actually going to look it up. There's this Japanese saying of the beauty in waiting, or like, it's like saying show up early enough to look around, or something like that. It's so sweet. A Japanese, there it is. Yatori, a Japanese concept that connotes a sense of spaciousness, leaving early enough to get somewhere so that you know you're going to arrive early, and so when you get there, you have time to look around. And so that's consciously utilizing waiting time, right? So don't miss out on the opportunity of life happening right before you. If you are waiting for your friend for lunch and they're late, I'm sure there's other people waiting for their friends for lunch. Then why not spark up a conversation, or say hi to the bartender, or know your server's name? If you are waiting at Starbucks, why don't you say hi to the barista, or to other folks that are waiting for their drinks too? We're talking about the new summer launch. Apparently I heard they're going to be launching boba this summer. Starbucks, leave some things for us, please, especially someone with an Asian American background, Pacific Islander. Like, leave some things for us, thank you. And what was the other thing? Oh, waiting for the bus. You know what? You're not the only one there at the bus stop. Well, maybe you are, but hey, why don't you say hi to someone else and see where they're going? And make sure you say hi to the bus driver when you hop on, and tell them to thank you for being here, because they don't have to be. And I don't know about you, but I ain't trying to walk out there. It's kind of, it was a far walk. So anyways, utilize waiting time consciously, or like most people, unconsciously. But I encourage you to do the other. All right, y'all. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope this helps. I would say the challenge is the first and foremost to just be conscious about it. Just like kind of start tracking. Like, am I pulling out my phone or my flashcards every time there's a minute of waiting time? And how am I going to use that waiting time? Kind of just think about how many opportunities of waiting time that you have. And again, the difference between you being on social media or whatever you're doing, or building the daily digital decluttering habit of utilizing the waiting time, going through your photos, going through your text messages, and definitely going through your emails. All right, so let me know how that goes. I can't wait to hear more about you utilizing waiting time in a really conscious or unconscious way. Yeah, I can't wait to hear about it. And so I'm just like, I don't know if I like that ending, but I can't wait to hear more about how you utilize your waiting time in the future. So if you want more tips on how to digitally declutter your daily life, then make sure to stay here and revisit this when things start to feel a little bit overwhelming in this digital landscape. All right, I'll talk to you soon. Bye now.